Well, I finally did go see a film that was already coming out in place, and I wasn't expecting it. I kind of was thinking about it at the last minute, and mainly because of the 18 certificate. It's called Overlord, produced by that arsewipe that done Star Wars: Force Awakens and all those Star Trek movies, J.J. Abrams. You can tell from the Bad Robot logo that this is somehow connected to those films or Cloverfield. And that was the thing I was worried about, if this movie was going to be connected to some stupid Cloverfield conspiracy. But it wasn't. It frankly was its own little movie. And it was a very strange mix of what I would call a mix between Inglorious Basterds, Saving Private Ryan, and an obscure French film that I remember seeing called Frontier, which is about a bunch of hardcore neo-Nazi nationalist types that try to keep Arabs to themselves and take some sort of super slave zombie-like creatures inside their basement and whatnot. Well, this movie is a lot different than all those three I just mentioned, because I think you already know about the other two I've just mentioned. This is pretty much, in the first hour, a movie about American soldiers, US allies, holding captive one of the German officers during the Third Reich. And then they meet this French lady who tries to help them out and gives them some sort of refuge in her house with her mother. She's sick. And so that's what happens. And then the whole thing slowly devolves into some sort of horror elements there, as it involves around people taking a syringe into the arm or their body and turning into some sort of, I am unstoppable, I will live for as long as I could. And some sort of superhuman of sorts, which doesn't quite work for me. I like realism in my films, not supernatural, but the way it was done wasn't seeming so obvious and in your face like Walking Dead, which I really can't stand. This is not Walking Dead. This is a hell of a lot more interesting. It's graphic, it's violent, it has some funny moments in it as well, and also was filmed at Leavesden Studios back in England, which was, funny enough, a place where I used to live. I lived near the neighbourhood where they had Leavesden Studios, because that's where they also done a lot of the early Harry Potter films. I think they've done all the Harry Potter films there, but that's an interesting story. So, knowing that, especially because I saw it all the way into the credits, because I like to get my money's worth, that made me even more appreciative of this film than what I was expecting. And for the most part, I don't really have much else to say aside from the fact that there's some elements about that doesn't quite work for me, but overall it's a pretty satisfactory experience, and the action is toned up to level 11, especially in the last 30-40 minutes of the film, which make me happy. I'm glad it's an 18 certificate, and like Venom, I would coming in with sort of low amount of expectations, but it definitely treated to my tickle fancy of sorts, and hopefully more and more people go see it. Unfortunately, the movie didn't really strike an audience in the States and in Britain, regrettably. I can see why, but give more people a try for this one. Not everything can be Walking Dead or Inglorious Basterds or Saving Private Ryan forever. I can give you that. So, feel free to subscribe for more film reviews and documentaries and music reviews every day through Skinny Ebert.